I realized as I rolled over my 5th year making YouTube videos and hitting 10,000 subscribers that there is a lot of meta humor in my content. And if you're new around here, some of my best stuff might just be kind of flying over your head. Compared to the average American, I am fucking Hulk Hogan. Oh yeah! Woo! I went back through all my content and have collected the funniest, most interesting moments and kind of pulled them together into arcs. You know, I've got the cop arc, we've got the CycleCruza arc, and then there's just kind of fun stuff that you might have missed if you just got here in the last year or so. I got pretty wacky for a while. I'd love for you to stick around to the end because I'm going to share the video topics that I've kind of been mulling about and working on, and I would love to know if any of them pique your interest more than the others. Let's get started with a montage. How can I not start it with the cop situation? After only like 6 months of making videos, my motorcycle channel took a hard right turn when I was riding to my job one afternoon and an off-duty detective in an unmarked Ford Fusion got really mad at me for speeding past him and then decided to sneak up on me with a gun while I was waiting at a stoplight. This initiated a series of events that concluded in me suing the sheriff's department and them begging to settle with me.
How you doing?
Oh shit! What are you doing to me?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
What are you?
Fucking driver?
Hi, why do you have a gun on me?
If it were true as alleged that he was traveling 100 miles an hour in that area, what would be the protocol for a traffic stop?
A traffic stop, just like we saw there, up to the point where he walked up with his gun out. I'm not aware of any situation, any traffic stop situation that would justify pulling a gun on a violator like that.
At her press conference today, Sheriff Mitzi Johannick said after a full review of all the facts and the video, she decided on a 5-day suspension. Johannick said then Sheriff Urquhart's comments before the investigation were inappropriate and premature.
Also, there might be parts of this video that feel like I'm just dunking on the sheriff's department and taking a victory lap, and that's probably because I am.
Am I saying that I paid an additional $5,000 just to spite a handful of people who may or may not ever even find out about this or care? Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
So I totally understand why people laser focus on the punishment for the detective that did the bad thing to me in my situation. You have to remember that if you make an example of a single cop, you'll have some level of chilling effect on probably the worst members of that force. And that's good objectively. But if you actually want to change the entire department or the system, you gotta shoot for the head. Detective Rowe was given a 5-day suspension for being discourteous to me in this interaction by the sheriff. That was her conclusion of the appropriate punishment. In the end, he was able to work with his police union to get the punishment lowered down to a 1-day suspension. I know this makes people incredibly angry because there's a double standard between what a cop is allowed to do and a civilian is allowed to do. And there's never any accountability for when cops do bad stuff. And even when there is a little bit of accountability, they're still gonna lower it down to basically nothing. But I sincerely don't care. What I actually give a shit about was that in 2020, we were able to get a measure on the ballot to change the sheriff's position from elected to appointed. That opened the door for us to remove the sheriff that made this shitty call, which we did, and replace her with somebody else. Bye-bye, bye-bye. If you want more information on this experience, I've got a whole playlist with everything in it. You can watch my attitude change from scared to fucking mad over like a 1.5 year long process. So have fun.
This type of situation, mistakes don't usually give you an opportunity to put the lessons to practice. If you know what I mean, they die. I really should not joke about that, but I was not raised well. So this is kind of what you get.
If you want to talk about motorcycles and tangential topics, feel free to join my Discord. Nobody in there seems like an asshole. I think I'm the biggest asshole in there. I have a Patreon, but honestly, I'm a little embarrassed to even bring it up because I am doing absolutely fucking fine. Like, I might be the bourgeoisie that's gonna be put to the guillotine when the revolution comes. So, contrary to what some people think, the person I make fun of most on this channel is myself. Because I'm a big boy and I can take it. But there's another person I make fun of very infrequently, whose fans come to my channel all the time and just say the dumbest things. Before the cop situation, the first big influence on my content was a motovlogger named CycleCruza. It started when he posted this video.
I did a video that shows you how to counter steer. Some of you commented on that video and you said, CycleCruza, you're dead wrong. That you said to push down on, say, the left bar when you want to go left, and you push down on the right bar when you want to go right. I said, no, CycleCruza, that's wrong. You guys are telling me that, you know, you don't press down on the bar, you press forward, you push away on the bar. And that is incorrect. Stop talking all the gibberish. Stop trying to prove I'm wrong.
There was just something about how confidently incorrect he was that I knew this person was special and I wanted to talk about him. Now, none of what he said or did is really that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. People make mistakes all the time, although usually they don't double down on it as hard as he did. But even then, it doesn't actually make me that angry. Now, what did piss me off is when he went around using the YouTube copyright strike system to bully people into pulling down all of the evidence that he had done this, which is what he did. He actually succeeded in getting bigger channels like Yammy Noob to pull stuff down with seconds of his video under threat that maybe they'll get their channel deleted because he was that fucking mad about it. All of this stuff you probably know if you've been around here a while, but what most people don't know, even if you're a long-time subscriber, is that CycleCruza actually sent me a series of emails with legal threats and other just hilarious, enlightening things, which I would love to read some of for you now. I saw your hate video on me. I feel like I have to do his affect. I saw your hate video on me titled CycleCruza. He doesn't really have a southern accent though. This video is laced with threats, profanity, insults towards me, trying to evoke hatred towards me with your audience, and also using my video content without permission again. I was about to report the video for infringing my rights, but I decided to contact you and give you the opportunity to take down your hate speech rant video first. If it's not removed, I will report it. Even though I thought this was some really overdramatic, dumb shit to say, I went into full how to win friends and influence people mode and sent him a very measured, calm response back. I complimented his ability to grow his channel and even explained how having people complain about him is really good for his business because it brings more traffic. And so he should really just leave me and everyone else alone. He wrote me back in a calmer tone, but still had the same demands. I would appreciate if you would remove your videos slandering me. I understand your frustration, but you should understand that when you create a public video with vicious insults and profanity hurled against another person, it can stir up crazy people, especially in the days of domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism. I forget. I haven't. Hold on. Oh, shit. Okay. If you don't remove this video, I will be forced to report it to get it removed. His last email was basically just a threat, but it ended with a question that I think, again, illuminates his entire thought process. I will give you 24 hours. If the video is still up, I will report it. Here's a small blurb from the email that summarizes basically the entirety of what I said. You might get that video pulled down. That's fine. I'll simply create a new one, removing anything that could possibly be considered copyrightable, cleaning up my language, while still explaining all of the very shitty acts that I can prove you are engaging in. Since he never followed through with that threat, I took that as a sign that we have a mutual understanding that I can critique whatever he does whenever I want, and he can fuck off.
A lot of motor vloggers and motorcycle resources have taken stabs at this topic, but I found most of them providing incomplete or kind of generic advice.
Don't overreact, stay calm.
You're telling me in an emergency, I shouldn't just close my eyes and lock up both tires in a panic? Wow, you must be the Bear Grylls of motorcycles.
You doxed yourself to me. You gave me your real name and your personal email. For someone who's supposedly so security-minded, you fucking sure don't understand this shit at all. Like every popular motorcycle topic, there are tons of anecdotal information and recommendations out there about motorcycle theft.
I'm tired of this donation shit, man. Patreon. You've never seen on my channel, I don't ask for a single fucking dime, man. Ultra lightweight carbon fiber helmet with auto tint.
Also, don't get a motorcycle with the sole intention of being a motor vlogger on YouTube. It takes a special talent like mine to be a professional motor vlogger since 2012.
And head so far up his own ass. So far up there, just can't even fucking.
If you're a scaredy cat, stay away from a motorcycle, guys, because cars will test you. As you can see here, this car pulled out in front of me, but I was ready. Just like this car almost swiped me, but I was ready.
Oh, look at that. It's crazy, man. Is he crazy?
One of the things that's important to me, but definitely doesn't improve my channel's growth potential, is doing forms of activism. Part of that was covering the 2020 George Floyd protests that happened throughout the United States. I participated, even documented some of the infamous Chaz Chop protest in downtown Seattle. That and my personal experience with police misconduct led me to do a deep dive on police training and how completely fucking bonkers it is, because it's so clearly shaped by 9/11 and the war on terror and scaring police into thinking that every one of the 700,000 cops in our country needs to be afraid of suicide bombers at every traffic stop.
Shit. Oh, fuck me. Well, we rolling. Oh, shit.
Got my anarchy dog in hand. They took US currency, which was a surprise to me. I'm not sure if that's some sort of agreement inside, or maybe they're just waiting to have their own, to build out their own cryptocurrency. Maybe that's the goal, is eventually we'll get there, but I put barbecue sauce on it. I don't know if that was the play.
And this brings us to an uncomfortable but critical question. Do we as a society want to prioritize a cop's life over the lives of those that they interact with? That is the reality of what trainings that say, pull your gun, draw it quickly, fire quickly, don't think about it, make sure you get home to your family, will do. Are we okay with this? Are you okay with this? I just wanted to share that I very much appreciate people who follow me through that, and I have no hard feelings on anyone who isn't interested in watching a motorcycle channel talk about cops, protests, and racism. These are just things that are important to me, and I want to talk about them. I've said this before, but my YouTube channel is a personal development and creative platform for me. It's a place that I get to do creative expression and learn new skills and research topics that interest me and present them. It has led me to do some strange things with my videos that sometimes I look back and I do cringe a little bit. Often it's just the quality, like how good I did those things. I think the idea was there, I just didn't execute as well. Anyway, here's some of the more out there stuff that I still like. To split or not to split? That is the question. Once you get the maybe I should get a motorcycle idea popping in your head, you'll probably want to share that idea with friends, family, or random people on the internet. And when you do, odds are that some of them are going to say something like, you can't ride a motorcycle. Motorcycles are death traps. How can we possibly begin to break down these walls and fix these deep underlying societal problems? Communism. Beep, boop, boop, boop. No, for the main course, you'll want to do some tofu. You're going to want some soy sauce to go on that. Oh, I can really taste the bean. And then you just want to wash that down. Delicious soy milk. Oh, it feels so good. First thing you're going to do is you're going to cut up your avocados. Easiest way to do that, I find, is to have them. You might get mad when your significant other tells you to buy a $500, if you're lucky and get off cheap, Coach purse, when you have thousands of perfectly usable free plastic bags from the grocery store that would do the same job. Look, see, I've got gear, I just don't wear it. Here are the questions and topics that I'm hoping to get to in my video essays this year. Is there a genetic predisposition to riding a motorcycle? If so, what is it? How does it work? And what data proves that? Why are motorcycles such a male-dominated hobby? And can anything be done to change that? Yemenoob has a decent video on this, but looking more into it, there were some women who felt like he missed the mark in a major part of it. I'm pretty sure that my YouTube channel has the most comprehensive coverage of the concept of lane splitting and filtering anywhere on the internet. But there's at least one more video I could do digging into who the real opposition to lane splitting and filtering is. There are some pretty large lobbying groups that are very much against it, and I think there needs to be a spotlight put on them. Before I was a tech bro douche, I did sales. And I think a lot of people have a bad perception of sales as a career in motorcycle sales. I'd like to demystify motorcycle sales a bit for the average person. Maybe even have some people on who have done sales or are actively doing it right now to talk about what are their incentives and is any of the common wisdom that people give to buyers actually useful. I'm into physical fitness. I mean, look at me. I still experience exhaustion from riding, so I want to come up with some exercises that are actually useful for people who are looking to build their riding endurance. Keith Code used to be a more popular name, less so nowadays, I think, because he's gotten a little wacky. I'd like to maybe give a greater context to his career and try to appreciate what he's done for the sport while calling attention to where he's fallen off the wagon. That's the stuff that's noodling around in my head right now, but I am super interested in any of those topics you are excited about, or if there's something I have totally missed that you think I should add. One more time, I want to thank those of you that have been around for years. I'm not going to say anyone specifically. Sometimes it makes people uncomfortable, or you have to cut somewhere, and then, you know, some people get cut, feel bad about that. Look, I recognize many of you in the comment sections, and I appreciate all the feedback I've gotten over the years. Stick around, and maybe we'll be able to check back in another 5 years. I will be fucking 40. Oh, fuck, I just got that, like, existential sense of dread from the concept of dying. Once again, ride fast, take chances.